Committees of Parliament alongside their leadership have been established.
The sectoral committee shall consist of not less than 15 members,
including both standing and sectorial committees. Ministers have been successfully vetted, with ex-official members of Parliament officially sworn in.
I, Jerine Haruna Kasoro, solemnly affirm.
With immediate former members of Parliament ushered into life after legislation.
recognizing that it is a truth that you are no longer a member of Parliament in the 11th Parliament. So as a person, you need to start to move around, demonstrate to people that life has changed.
All have been smooth efforts towards transition from the 10th to the 11th Parliament.
Now therefore, by the powers conferred upon me by law, I will proceed to administer the oath of allegiance and the oath of member of Parliament to each member elect. I, Ababiku Jessica, swear in the name of the Almighty God.
It all officially started with taking of oath by elected members of Parliament who made pledges to their electorate.
We have the mining, the bill that was passed by Cabinet. We hope that 11th Parliament should be able to pass this bill.
I am a woman of work, and I believe faith without action is dead.
My support to those who have land issues is still available.
I believe the journey was not easy.
This was before the first sitting was held to vote for the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker of Parliament. It is a process that had put contenders for the position on tension right from the ruling party caucus. The then incumbent, Rebecca Kadaga, sought re-election as her deputy Jacob Olanya moved to replace her.
We will do things in such a way that it endears members of Parliament to the public.
I'm now acknowledged as someone who has expressed interest.
It took the intervention of the Central Executive Committee to zero on one candidate. By the time both NRM and independent-leaning MPs got to the voting area in Kololo, their minds were already made up. Jacob Olanya, the official NRM candidate, took the day, as independent Rebecca Kadaga conceded.
The Right Honorable Kadaga should not be a bad loser. I was happy that she came and congratulated the Right Honorable Jacob Olanya. I just hope that that was in good spirit and she should keep it in that positive way.
In fact, that is the respect that we deserve in terms of any leadership position. That once you have been defeated, of course, you work with the other party.
These were some of the comments made by a section of members of Parliament shortly after Jacob Olanya was elected Speaker of the 11th Parliament.
I, Jacob Lokori Olanya, swear in the name of the Almighty God.
President Yoweri Museveni had observed the process from commencement to conclusion.
One of the problems we must fight is intolerance. People who don't work together with other people or who are vindictive.
With the leadership of Parliament established, it was time to start work. And this is how a successful State of Nation address and budget reading was held on different occasions.
The Appointment Committee will approve the rest of the appointees to Cabinet. This implies the urgency of this House to duly constitute the Appointment Committee in line with Rule 161 and 168 of our Rules of Procedure.
a new cabinet would be announced, ranging from the positions of Vice President, Prime Minister, Cabinet and State Ministers. All these have since been successfully vetted and sworn in, including ex-official members of Parliament.
I, Joyce Juliet Nabosa Sebugwao, swear in the name of the mighty God.
I'll commit myself to Parliament to get the views and also to bring in the views of the local people.
To complete the structures was the appointment of opposition leadership, including whips and shadow ministers. And the process has gone on and on and on. What a progress.
We are moving on very well. And I pray if COVID-19 were not to be there, by now we would have done far much better. I am happy the trend we are taking now is still so far so good.
I'm really grateful to the leadership of Parliament, including the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, for really giving members of Parliament a task, of course, of oversight on Emioga. These are some of the things that have been so critical in terms of issues to do with the 11th Parliament.
We have also been sitting in the legal committees, and we are deliberating business on the bills which are going to be presented before Parliament. So far the 100 days, we are progressing.
Not even the absence of the Speaker in the early days would stop the House from moving.
There is a Speaker in this House, and the Speaker is here. There is no virtue.
And when Jacob Olanya returned, it was to the joy of members of Parliament who had expressed concern over his absence.
To those who say he's coming dead, no. He says, let a country move away from intrigue. Let a country move away from unnecessary wars. Let a country come together as leaders chosen by God at this particular time to serve his people. That is the message.
Parliament remains on course in passing laws for good governance, providing legislative sanctions to taxation, and scrutinizing government policy and administration. And over 100 days later, it is just right for any sober-minded person to conclude that so far so good for the 11th Parliament. Henry Okrut, UBC.